Howdy, YouTube. Clandestine Pipe here. Enjoying some Black Watch out of my Royce bent. What would you call that shape? I don't know. Is it? I guess it always kind of appeared a little bit calabashy to me, but I don't know exactly what qualifies something to be a calabash, so I don't think that's quite right. Anyway, love to hear talks. It's one of my favorites. I love the grain and yeah, Edwards Royce line. There's the marking. So Edwards and then Royce on this side. So yeah, great little pipe. Nice smoker. Of course, Black Watch is one of my magic tobaccos. I've tried it with a bunch of other people, and it seems to work a whole lot better for me than it does for anyone else. But it works real well for me. Great. Vanilla. But not like just a vanilla Cavendish. It's quite a natural with just a hint of the flavoring or the topic. Just great. Great stuff. Spring is getting here. Hopefully you can hear the beautiful bird songs in the air. Grass is starting to green up a little bit, which is such a welcome change, I'm sure, for all of us. As promised, I finished Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy this week. I think I put it in the comments that I was going to review that next. Book should come with a warning. Don't read unless you have a prescription, an active prescription for Prozac. It is a sad, sad book with enough soap opera-like drama to match anything on daytime television. It is interesting. I mean, Thomas Hardy seems to very consistently put fate into his books, and it's always some ill-fated people. You know, no matter how hard they try, they're never gonna achieve even their most nominal goals. And it's quite interesting to me. I've never really had a struggle with fatalistic thinking, and you know, the idea that there's a fate that kind of follows you around and guarantees you won't achieve these things or will that. I mean, in Thomas Hardy's book, fate is almost a genetic disorder. You got the people in his family, one of whom he falls in love with. A little bit weird by our standards. Are fated to have bad marital relationships, and lo and behold, they do. I felt like I wasn't in step enough with Hardy to appreciate some of the stuff. I think he was after a large criticism of institutions of marriage and the church, and about how destructive they are in society, or something to that effect. And those are both institutions that, just even as pure institutions, I think he views both of them in an incredibly shallow and superficial light. Just a kind of a pathetic view on either. But even on their most superficial level, I've not been hurt by either institution, so it's hard for me to be sympathetic, I guess. A guy who feels like he married wrong might feel like marriage is a bondage of some kind. A guy who goes to church and doesn't understand what it is to have a relationship with the Lord and have a place to meet with other people who understand how greatly loved we are. And all of a sudden, church becomes this oppressive, moralistic, dogmatic force. And I know that the church institution has had that place, so I guess it's a fair criticism. Or at least not without merit. In any event, it was kind of interesting that way, but it's fascinating. In Korea, where we lived for a couple years, part of the, I think it's the first birthday or 100 days, I don't remember which one it is, but it would have to be first birthday because you wouldn't be crawling in 100 days, but they'll send the kid after 3 things under the table, and those will basically decide their fate, whether they're going to be musical or they're going to be, I can't remember what the 3 items are or what the virtues that they kind of insinuate, and that follows you the rest of your life, that as an infant you crawled towards that or this or that, and thus you should, pursue something along those lines with confidence. And we might still feel like we are fated, or at least predisposed to the things of our parents. In fact, from a purely scientific standpoint, we've got this gene theory that you're just kind of stuck with these genes that you're fated to have, and they will, in some way, will direct maybe what you're good at or what you're bad at, what you look like. I mean, genetically, whether you're gonna be able to succeed in sports or whatever. So there's an element of fatalism in that, isn't there? Not that you can't change your stars or work with those, but work with what you got, but at the same time, it's just interesting. I mean, obviously, as a believer, I have a whole different set of presuppositions that we're coming from rather than Hardy. So it's hard or difficult rather to have the utmost sympathy for where he's coming from, but there is an incredible human tragedy to his struggle and to the harm humans do each other. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if I'd make it a suggestion. I definitely don't pick it up lightly. Expect the worst, because it is absolutely like the worst case scenario of any human's possible existence for 30 years. But it is thought-provoking. It is interesting. It is heartbreaking. It's emotionally provocative, which to me is a sign that it's well written. I need to do some research. I found it vaguely misogynistic. I need to research more. I just got the sense that whether Hardy viewed, had a somewhat denigrating view of women, but I wouldn't make that as a statement. It was just kind of one of the impressions I got as I read the book, because his main character was very much a victim. Of the the ridiculous fancies of women, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, have you read the book? Got any thoughts on it? Did you enjoy it or not? I would say I appreciated it, and I've enjoyed thinking about it, but I wouldn't go so far as to say I just objectively enjoyed the book. It was so tragic and so down in the mouth. There's another video on it, on Jude the Obscure, some high school students, I think, and basically they described him as the first emo goth. And yeah, he's kind of a whiny little guy. He cries a lot, but most of it's circumstantial. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts on Jude the Obscure, on fate, on how much control you think we have over our stars. Stars is wrong. Our destiny. Probably better put. But you got the idea. And until next time, I hope the smoke continually satisfies. Have a great day, guys.